I was saved when I was 9 years old at a youth event. We actually went to Resurrection with my youth group, and my dad was the youth leader there, so I got saved that weekend. And so I've pretty much been a Christian the majority of my life. When I was in high school and especially in college, I rode the fence a lot. I drank almost every single weekend. I did lots of drugs. Almost every Saturday night I was at a party. And what's so funny about that is it didn't matter where I was at on Saturday night. Almost every Sunday morning I still went to church. And my reasoning was because I just didn't want to be a disappointment to my mom and dad. At some point, by the grace of God, I ended up meeting my husband, Matthew. And I have always told him that God saved me first, but he saved me second in his own way. And so after that, I had sort of gotten my life together. We, dated and ended up getting married in 2013. And when we got married, I was already pretty overweight. And so we had actually gone to a Halloween party for my sister-in-law, and that fall after we got married, and several people were taking pictures, and a picture of me got posted on Facebook, and I was mortified by the way that I looked. And I know that looks are not everything, but I just looked so unhealthy. You could just look at me and tell, wow, she's got something going on. So anyway, after I saw that picture of myself on Facebook, I quickly realized I have got to do something about this. And so that January, I just set a New Year's resolution to lose 50 pounds. I didn't think it was going to happen. I knew it was practically impossible, but I just prayed the whole time that God would just lead me. And so I actually ended up losing close to 70 pounds, thankfully, by His grace, and I did a lot of running. The summer that I had began my weight loss journey, and I had only lost maybe 20 or 30 pounds at that time, but I met a lady at the gym named Barbara Knight, and she's 71 years old and runs every single day. She's had lung cancer, still has lung cancer, and is still running every single day. And so she met me at the gym one morning before work, and we just randomly met. She wrote her phone number down and said, "You seem really motivated. I would love for you to come run with me sometime." Well, her minimum was 6 miles. That's what she runs. And that, for somebody who has never ran, that is a huge deal. It's still a big deal, and I've been running for 3 years now. And so when she told me that, I was like, I'm going to have to work my way up. So that's what I did. I started off slowly on my own, and then when I could run 6 miles, I finally met her. But I met her at the gym at 4 a.m. I had to be at work at 7. So we met at 4 a.m., ran our 6 miles. After that, I just felt so led to do something in God's name. I just felt like He was calling me to do something in His name and in the name of fitness, I guess. So that's when He spoke to me about starting a running group in Gate City. So I just sort of stepped out on a limb and started that. I am nervous about speaking in front of people. I'm nervous about doing small groups like that, so I had no idea what it was going to entail. So that was a huge step for me. But just the relationships that have been formed through that have been amazing. God has transformed my life totally from that. It's been an amazing journey, and it's funny how He uses things like weight loss, eating healthy, and fitness to bring you closer to Him. A lot of times we think stuff like that is so silly, but it's not. He can use anything for His glory, and He's definitely done that. Like that. The group's been going almost 2 years now. And you know, people are busy, there's different things going on, but I feel like whether we have 2 people there or 20 people there, the most I've ever had was 47. I think that's amazing. No matter how many people are there, I feel like God always speaks in his own way, and whoever's meant to be there is there. So it's just been an awesome journey. Matthew is actually on one of his off days, and I had gotten up to run with Barbara that morning. I got up at 3:15 to get ready and just get my stuff for work ready, and I was getting ready to leave to meet her. And I just so happened to find out that morning that I was pregnant. I took a pregnancy test. And I was so excited, I just could not wait to tell him that I woke him up at 3:30 and said, I'm pregnant. But what's crazy is I never wanted children. I said my entire life, kids are not for me, they're icky, they get stuff on their face, they're gross, I just don't want kids. I loved all of my nieces and nephews, but I just felt like there are some people who aren't meant to have children, and I thought I was one of those people. And Matthew knew that whenever we dated, and you could tell that it upset him, but he still married me anyway. And we had multiple fights about having kids, but we never sat down and really prayed about it. So that summer before I got pregnant, I just said, God, if it is your will for me to have a child, if you want me to be a mom, give me a mother's heart. And he did. I almost immediately, the week that I started praying that, I got baby fever, which has never happened to me. Kids started looking cuter. I don't know, I just felt like God was calling me to be a mom. And I had, you know, a great pregnancy with Daisy. That's my daughter. She is my world. Fast forward now, she's 7 months old, and there's a lot of days where I feel so guilty because I think that I have wished her life away. So many nights I've just wanted her to sleep all night, and she wouldn't. You know, that's just been our struggle. She's a great baby. It's just, she just hates to sleep. And I truly believe that she is just a strong-willed child. I think that she gets that from me. I think she gets that from my mom. She just doesn't like to sleep. I remember one morning, she was probably 4 months old. I felt like I had rocked her to sleep all night long. It may not have been all night, but it felt like that. Because every time I rocked her, as soon as I felt like she was asleep, I would lay her down and she would immediately wake up. I rocked her all night long, and I took her into our bedroom to lay her down next to Matthew. And as soon as I laid her down, she woke up screaming. And he woke up and he said, do you want me to get her? And I just looked at him and said, I want to kill myself. I cannot deal with this another day. On top of everything, you know, I was still leading my running group. And, you know, no one really knew what was going on. I would make jokes about Daisy not sleeping, but I don't think anybody really knew that I was depressed or I had anything like that going on at home. And I didn't want to open up to anybody about my issues. I didn't want to talk to Matthew about it. I didn't want to talk to anyone in my family about it. I didn't want to be judged, and I felt like postpartum depression was something made up. I didn't feel like that was something real that anybody ever dealt with. And so I just sort of hid that and didn't really speak to anybody about it. And it was a very difficult time. On top of all of this, I ended up getting laid off from my job. that I had been at for 3.5 years. Thankfully, I was already on an extended maternity leave with Daisy. And I got the phone call one day that I would not be back. It was a permanent layoff. I got laid off from my job, and a few weeks had gone by, and the first day I was supposed to go back to my job, that night, Daisy finally slept all night long. And, this whole time, while we were going through this trial, I kept thinking, what am I going to do? I don't know what you want me to do, Lord. What is this calling that you have placed on my life? I felt like my calling was in the fitness world before I had Daisy. Then after I had Daisy, I felt like I was meant to be a mother, but after dealing with her not sleeping, I didn't even know if I was meant to be a mom. I felt like a failure, like I had done a horrible job at it. But that night that she finally slept all night, when we woke up the next morning, I just felt such a peace come over me. And God spoke to me and said, this is what you're supposed to be doing. You are Daisy's mom. That in itself is a job enough for anyone to do. Moms have a hard job, but it is so worth it. No matter what happens, no matter what I do, I'm meant to be Daisy's mom in this moment. That's what God called me to do. Whether she's sleeping or not, that's just, in this moment, I'm just meant to be her mother. And I just feel like Daisy was given to us, for a purpose, just to help show me what my job is. And I'm just so thankful that, she is here, and she's taught me so many things just in her short life. I don't know, I just feel like he's going to do some big things. Several weeks ago, Matthew, myself, and PJ went to Gatlinburg to deliver some supplies after the fires there, and it was such a humbling experience. And so now I just have a desire in my heart to serve locally, so I hope that God will open up some doors to do that too. Regardless of what your mountain is, you have to have faith in God. And I'm ashamed to say that, my faith in Him has not been the best at times. Especially when, you're going through postpartum depression, or, you're upset about whatever it may be. But you have to trust Him. You have to trust that He's going to get you through. And especially when I was going through this trial with Daisy, there were so many times when I just questioned and said, God, why are you doing this to me? I thought He had left me. Almost feel like my dry bones have come alive, in a sense. What's funny is I said I've been a Christian most of my life, but I feel like a new Christian. I feel like God saved me yesterday. Of course, He saves me every day, but I don't know, I'm so excited. I'm about to burst just with all these things that I want to do for Him. I just feel like He's delivered me throughout my whole life, but just in this short amount of time, He has just opened my eyes to so much. And I don't know, I just feel like my faith has been completely restored. No matter what trial He takes me through next, I want to have unstoppable faith. I want to be that person that somebody says, wow, I hope I have faith like her. I have a desire to be that person, and I hope I can be. No matter what challenge you face, God has a great plan for you. I know it is so difficult to see that, in those dark times. But you have to trust that His plans are greater than yours. And no matter what the negative people in your life say, because there will always be negative people, you can do it. It literally just takes faith. And what's funny is you think you can't do something, but He will give you the tools that you need to do it. I want to do whatever God wants me to do, whether that is stay here and serve His people locally, be Daisy's mom, whatever it is, I think I can.